Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to Friday at 4. How are you?
Doing well, Chuck. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a up and down week. It's been a crazy. It's been full of adventures, full of fun, and yeah, I'm glad to get through this Friday and get this thing going today. How are you?
Good stuff. I'm doing real good. It was a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
week.
good.
I'm real
Good
excited.
week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as you can see, and to tell our guests, we have a special guest today on the Friday at 4. Barry, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Like you guys, it sounds like you guys have had a good week. I've had a great week. It's
Awesome.
Friday at 1 o'clock here, though, in Huntington Beach, California.
You you beat me too. I was gonna say, what time is it there? 1 o'clock, right?
1 o'clock. Hey, but it's
Oh,
4 o'clock somewhere.
it's,
Oh, boom, Steve, did you hear that?
I did. I'm leaving the show. That's it. I'm done.
Yep, you're done, Steve. That's
I'm done.
it.
That's it. Barry, just for your information, that's the way I end the show.
That's out. Okay, well, I need a drum kit. Dun 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 ding.
So that
Yeah,
means that I'm not crazy. It really is 4 o'clock somewhere. So thanks for
yeah,
confirming that, Barry. I feel
yeah.
it's a good thing. I'm not imagining things.
So what cities are you guys in?
I
I'm
am in Harford County, Maryland, and Steve is in
I'm in New York City.
New
All
York.
right. So you're probably
Yeah.
not wearing shorts today.
Nope.
No, not
Nope.
today.
Hey, you're lucky to see me sitting in a t-shirt today. Usually I got my blanket around me. It's so cold.
Right on. Well, you're lucky to see me in a t-shirt too, because usually I'm just wearing board shorts.
I am
Right.
so jealous you have no idea. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
man.
I'm
All
almost
right.
done writing a book right now called How I Built a Multi-Million Dollar Business in Board Shorts.
Nice. I
Nice.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of fits in what the topic is today. And Steve, I think this is a great topic you brought up. What are you doing to advance yourself in your business? And I think that question is can be said for a lot, right? For anybody in business, even personal,
Yeah.
school, coaching, right? So let's get started.
All right. So the thinking behind this, just for real quick, we go to school, whether it's high school, college, whatever. Um, we work, whether it's an employee or as an employer. Um, we do all kinds of different things. And general statement, we tend to get into a routine. Whatever that is, good or bad, we get into a routine. And when we do that, we sort of sometimes get comfortable. And when we get comfortable, it may be nice, but how do we grow? How do we know what else is out there? We don't know what our full potential is. So the idea for this whole conversation, I thought, Chuck and I bounced it off each other. We thought it was really good, is to open it up. And Barry, obviously, your opinions are greatly and needed here. What are we doing to improve ourselves? What are
Hmm.
the options that are out there? And again, everybody's different, everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things that can be done? We can go in for, quick on what we're doing to improve ourselves, which may give the audience some type of examples of what's out there that can be done.
Yeah.
I hope that kind of frames it, a little bit so we can, kind of get started.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and let Barry get started. Tell the audience who you are, Barry, and what you do, and give your feedback on what Steve just talked about.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I'm grateful to be here, and this is a great topic for that I'd love to participate in. So thanks again for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have 7 businesses that I run. I'm an
Mm,
entrepreneur. Luckily for me, they're scaled and automated, and I have teams that work them now. But it wasn't easy getting there. In fact, the hardest thing in the world is to let a business go, your first business
mm,
go to automation and to systems and to other people to run it. You kind of have to fall out of love with your company
right.
and in love with working on your company from afar and learning how to do things through others by building teams and that kind of thing. So that's what I do, and that's what I've done. And I've got several companies that are doing really well, and that allows me, the freedom to write my books and to do public speaking and mentorship programs and things. And really, when it comes to I've got a lot of different companies. I develop AI and software through a company called I'm sorry, called I'm wearing the shirt right now, Metaverse Digital, and I developed a business digital business card called DigiLink. So it's something anybody can go to digilink.global and get a free digital business card. You've seen them around. I'm the
Mhm.
founder of that. We're really leading some really um, industry disruptive, disrupting the space and trade shows right now, and that's really all I can say about it. But it's really coming heavy and fast, and it's gonna be a real game changer for people with what we're building. So if you get your card, you'll be part of that. But most entrepreneurs don't fail because they're lazy, they're or untalented or unmotivated. They fail because they're carrying everything alone silently for way too long. I've built multiple businesses. I've worn exactly, Chuck,
I raised
exactly.
my hand on that one.
Yeah. So we wear every hat, or we have worn
Yeah,
every hat. And I've
yeah,
been the guy answering emails at midnight, fixing problems that nobody else even knew existed, and convincing myself that stress was just part of was just the price of ambition.
right. You
But what
got it.
I learned the hard way is that hustle doesn't scale. Isolation is expensive, and freedom doesn't come from working harder. It comes from structure and the right people around you. And
Correct.
that's why everything I do now is built around one idea. Come win with me through structure, systems, and community instead of trying to survive it alone. So if
Yeah.
you're listening to
Okay.
this and something feels heavy in your business or lonely or harder than it should be, then this conversation is for you. And these guys are great to lead it here. And at the end, I'll share a free clarity guide that helps you to see, exactly what's missing, find what's missing, and then what you can fix first. Entrepreneurs don't need more motivation; they need armor and people who understand the weight that they're carrying.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
and and
Perfect.
connect with me at comewinwithme.com. But that's what I focus on is community and through that mentorship program and sharing kind of some of the struggles that I've been through and hopefully catching people where they're at so that either they can avoid that or help get through something that they're working on or get to that next level. Um, yeah.
Okay. Great. No,
Good
I love that.
stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff.
It is. It is.
Yep. So I know, Steve, you got a list there and you're dying to run through it. I know it.
Sort of. Okay.
Sort of.
Sort of.
It's at least three items.
So I think Barry, what you said, 100% on target.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
You
Yeah.
can't do things by yourself. And for those of you who have not heard this, and I paraphrase, we're all good at something. Maybe it's a few somethings, but we can't do it all. So do what you're good at and hire for the rest so that
Yeah.
you can build the business, scale it, get out like Barry did, and build another business.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to go a slightly different track. Whether you are individual or as a team, how do you get better? So, are you going back to school? Are you taking online classes? Are you going to presentations? Are you looking at or presenting different webinars? What are you doing? Do you have a partner that you can tap into? Do you ask for private coaching? What are you doing as an individual to better yourself? And are you looking at other businesses in your industry to see what they're doing that's working to do the same, or what's not working not to do the same? So
Yeah.
and again, everybody's different. And I know this is wide open stuff, but
Yeah.
what are you doing as the example to get better? I know I'm on the financial services side, and I'm part of a larger company, but they have training 5, 6, 7 times a week. I have to do CE credits every 2 years for the state to make sure that I keep my license valid. I have to pass a test to get licensed. So all those things keep me as an individual going, and I then pass that on to the team so that they can do what I do. And it's the duplication factor. Same thing Barry said. Be
Yeah.
comfortable enough to hand off the business. I need to be comfortable enough that the team can go run by themselves. They're going to do the right thing within the legal bounds and do the right thing by the customer. So that's kind
Yeah.
of an over picture of what I do. Chuck?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, right? Because that leads right into my next statement with me is what's working for me is these podcasts we're doing, the Friday at Fours. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, I've met some good people. Last week, Bill Reynolds was on our podcast Friday at Four, and him and I are already bouncing ideas back and forth with each other. I'm creating an episode of my show with him, and I didn't want to give too much away because I wanted it to be a surprise episode in the future. But we're actually doing an episode to where he has my mind thinking way beyond what I even thought that because I had these ideas and, I bounced stuff off of you, Steve, of how to really pitch and sell what I'm doing with the show. But I reached out to him with and I think you had a chance to see it. I think you saw when I sent you the message or the email of what I'm working on. But Barry, I just want to, get you in on this is that my show is like my bread and butter.
Mm,
And I'm really trying to find a way to streamline it like you are. I want a team built to push this thing forward for me. So all I'm doing is traveling,
mhm.
going in, recording, doing it, and everything else is done for me, you
Yeah,
know? And I'm
yeah,
at the infancy stages of doing that. But when you text us back, Steve, with this topic today, it really hit that like I'm already doing that. It's like I know what I have to do now. These things that are pushing me and challenging me to learn more to do this. And that I had to do it myself because I don't have a team yet. So good stuff.
Yeah. There's a saying, growth, and I'm probably going to mess this up too, but I'm going to paraphrase it. Growth comes where discomfort ends.
mm,
Get this actually is it ends or starts? I forget. Now I'm confused. Um, Actually, growth starts where discomfort starts. Because if you start getting uncomfortable where you are, then you start to grow.
that's right.
And fear, right? Doesn't what do you think, Barry? That's where fear,
Yeah,
right? Fear and
yeah. I
discomfort take
mean,
you to that phase,
yeah,
right?
I've been uncomfortable many different times. I was on another podcast called Fine. Tell me about a time when everything was everything but fine. But
Mm,
that's it. Sometimes the economy is going to force you into that. Back in '08, I lost everything in real estate,
mm.
13 houses, and I was building and developing and had a lot going on.
Wow.
And,
Oh,
and yeah, so I was forced into that uncomfort.
Mm,
But I could have done things differently and probably avoided that situation looking back 17 years ago.
mhm.
But sometimes you have to put yourself into uncomfortable rooms or
Correct.
uncomfortable
Correct.
situations a good friend of mine, Doug Grady's an author. He wrote a book called Ripple Effect. And one thing that he talks about is you just got to throw your hat in the ring. And once you do that, you say it to
Mhm.
people. If you're a
Yep.
person of your word, that just makes you stay on topic. And you're like, okay, well, I said it. Now I got to do it.
Right.
And then you kind of move forward that way. So I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well, we
okay,
also,
well, I'm going to
yeah,
start
we also,
podcasting. So I'm
sorry,
going to do it.
we also get into that vein of being comfortable, so we don't necessarily think of what happens if.
Hmm.
Nobody would have thought of the 2008 crash, but
Yeah.
stepping back a second, having 13 houses, what would happen if the market went down?
Yeah.
Everybody, I say everybody, there's a lot of people that invest tons of money in the real estate, in the stock market for their retirement. But how many people are really stepping back saying, what happens if there's a 5% correction, a 10% correction, a 20% correction? What happens if '08 happens again and it's a 50% correction?
Yeah.
How many people can really sustain a 50% loss and still live the retirement life they want to? And the answer is probably nobody.
Yeah.
But
I
nobody's
can't miss a
taking that
day,
step.
Steve.
I'm sorry?
No, I can't miss
Yeah.
a day. One day and
Yeah.
I'm done.
Even if
But
your
you
houses
understand the
are paid
point.
off.
But just that point, and to Barry's point, he had houses and something happened.
Yeah.
People who were in the market lost 50%. One of my business partners, who's doing very well, was fully funding his 401k. When the market crashed in '08, he lost 50%. It took him 11 years to
Yeah.
get back to where he was before the crash. And this was in 2019. What happened in 20? COVID. He lost another chunk. So you're constantly doing this up and down. When are
Yeah.
you getting ahead? And you can't get ahead in anything until you figure out what happens if.
Yeah.
So
It's
true.
interesting.
Yeah. Go ahead, Barry. You were going to say something?
I just couldn't agree more. What happens if, and also, or what happens when? Because
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's true.
market fluctuation is going to happen. And, going through that now, I just realized that. And so
Mhm.
how am I prepared? But I also was in my late 20s all I knew was banking and I started,
Mhm.
developing and building houses and kind of threw myself in being overly ambitious and
Mhm.
eager to,
Yeah.
I quit the banking job, the regional manager for a big national bank. And I was like, well, I got all this free time now. I need to
Mhm.
work 60, 70 hours a week like I did
Right.
before. Well, that's buying a lot of real estate, doing a lot of things.
But there's a
So,
difference of being
it got
20,
bigger.
the difference of being 20 and being 30, 40, 50, 60, and
Yeah.
having that same challenge. So
Yeah.
depending on where you are in life, you really have to start thinking different ways. I mean, Chuck,
But
you're the same way. When you go out to different restaurants and food establishments, are they really planning the what if?
Right.
What if the good side business picks up 10, 20, 30%? Can you handle it? The other
Right.
side says, what if business decreases 10, 20, 30%? What does
Mhm.
that mean to paying the bills? What does that mean to keeping all the staff
Yeah.
on your payroll or having to lay
Yeah.
somebody off? So they really have to think both sides. So, you run into that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big concern, right? Because especially in the restaurant industry, it's such a tight profit margin that if anything goes a plus or minus what, 3, 4, 5%, it
Mhm.
can really crush a business, especially a small business. And it's buried, talked about right, losing them houses, right? You saw that back in '08,
Mm.
when the market crashed, right?
Yeah.
It hits.
And then again with COVID.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
But I survived that time mostly because of lessons that I learned before
Right.
and through automation.
Mhm.
Luckily, I started doing that with my company back then. And then when
Mhm.
COVID hit, I was automated. So I was prepared to handle the
Mhm.
company again by myself, lost
Right.
all my team for various reasons.
Mhm.
And, so that was very helpful. And then I had friends and coworkers of mine that are, pretty big businesses coming to me saying, "Hey, how'd you do that? How are you operating? I lost employees. How, so I helped them and did a lot of consulting during that time. And that started one of my second business at the time. And,
Right.
helping other businesses with their websites and scaling and automating operations and,
Hmm.
membership, collecting on membership fees, all that stuff that needs to be automated. Um,
Right.
and that
Something I
just,
never, yeah, and something I never really talked about, Steve, before with you. I never thought about this, and this is a great podcast time to mention it. So back in 2012, with my mystery shopping company, that was my first business. Barry was a straight up mystery shopping company,
oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and I was going through a divorce. I had to dump it off. And when I dumped off the clients, I sold my clients. They were asking me, how did I do this? How did I build it? Because I was gaining clients in this economy, and they were losing clients.
Yeah.
And they wanted to hire me at the time. I'm like, no, 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 that's not going to happen. Well, tell us
Yeah.
your trade secrets, and that's not going to happen
That's
either.
not going to happen either.
No.
No, right, absolutely not. So, Steve, I never talked about that. I didn't think about it until this topic came up today, and I think what really helped was, as the topic today, as we're talking about, is knowledge, understanding and learning how to push forward through times of that, right? Because if you just sit still and do nothing, you're going to lose. But if you're learning and growing, you can get through those times like Barry did, right? And what do you think?
Knowledge is power
Yeah,
only if it's used.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
having the knowledge is nice. Congratulations. But are you
right.
using it? That's where
Yeah,
the real power comes in,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So to go back a second, I'm going to be a wise guy here. Um, when you had said, "What's my trade secret?" You should have given them the two words: hire me. I'll do it for you. I'm not telling you how, but I'll do it for you.
They wanted to hire me. They did. They wanted to.
Oh, okay.
But remember, in my mind, as I'm thinking divorce, shutting the business down, I'm
Hmm.
thinking I'm coming back stronger in the future. So they're not getting what I need. You can have my
No,
clients, but you're not getting my trade secrets. You're not getting what I
right.
know to do it. That was my thought process back in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be on your toes at all times. And one of the things that
Yeah.
I think I said this before about Barry. One of the things I love, among many things about what you were talking about, but one of the things in particular that I love is that you have 7 businesses. you're in so many different things that depending on what they are and whatnot, you can write out
Yeah.
an up or down based on where
Yeah.
you are with the different businesses. So if one, two, or three sink a little bit, couple one, two, or three may
Yeah.
go up. So you still may be level, but you're not going backward. Level is better than going
Yeah.
backwards. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I love
And
when you said seven businesses. That's great.
and thankfully, because of global outsourcing with the global labor market that we have now, and
Mm,
also with built to scale and with automation, my margins are just absolutely, they're incredible. And when you have incredible margins,
mm,
then you can, there's a lot of there's not a lot of fat to trim. You're already there. And
right.
so yeah, I can have a decrease and still, things are plugging away pretty
Yeah.
good. And they all, other than, I'm a jewelry designer. I design men's jewelry. I'm not wearing a piece now, but other than that piece, which is like my hobby and my creative outlet, even though all
Mm,
the businesses, building businesses and systems, that's a creative outlet too. I build digital businesses for businesses. That's really
Mhm.
what I do. They're like, what do I do? I'm like, you don't have to get your head around it. Just get me involved. I'm going to observe and listen and see how your team operates and all this stuff. And I'm going to have a whole plan for you. And so I build businesses for other business owners. And so that's a creative outlet. But other than that, everything else, the other six businesses all work together. One's a professional networking organization. We do great things with entrepreneurs, building and developing, create community, and then also referral type pro part that's in that as well. And and everything else. So the consulting, the mentorship, the speaking, developing tools that help other
mm,
businesses with their
nice.
businesses, the platform automated essential suite that I offer, all those things work together. And then I got a couple of passion projects about golf and boating, so that when I'm vacationing, I've got an active mind. So when I'm
Okay.
vacationing, I still, can feed that and plus enjoy some write-offs too when I'm vacationing.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Tell
Nice.
us about
Like it.
that
yeah.
boat behind you. How long have you had that one?
Yeah, that's a rental.
It's a
It's a
rental.
Yeah,
rental.
between 3 and 7 days, or maybe 10, depends on where you're going.
Right.
Only one room though,
One very
one
large
room in
room.
common space, so maybe a little
Very
concealed.
large common space, right? It's got a lot of oil in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. So I love what you said though, Steve, about what are you doing to really help your business? And you mentioned a lot of things. You mentioned maybe like expos and webinars and workshops and all of that. And that's it. If you're connected with a good group of people or a community, and that's what I love doing. I love building those types of things for people. And I see transformation daily in these business owners. But if you seek that out, you're going to find opportunity. You're going to find people that are going to have that little grain of salt that's going to help you, and your journey's not going to be lonely, and it's going to be very vibrant, and you're going to have people that you can look to for mentorship, and that whatever struggle it is, likely somebody in that room has been through it and can help you through it. Or if it's just an opportunity, hey, I got something great going, help me through that. What do you recommend I do to tackle that? Find partnerships, professional partners. I'm sure in your industry, both of you, there's people that help you. You have the same type of customer, work together that way, and you can refer business and make really valuable, high-powered introductions for each other. And to me, I think that's the biggest thing that I've done differently coming out of COVID, was just really connecting at a higher level, and not just here in Huntington Beach, nationally with business owners.
Yeah.
There's
That's what Steve and I were hoping to get out of this podcast. Sorry, real quick, Steve. That's what Steve and I are trying to get out of this podcast is bring on guests like you, sometimes have more than just one, so we can all collaborate and we'll bounce
Yeah.
ideas off each other. And I think it's working really well because the guests are coming.
How long have you done this one?
So this Friday before has been what, Steve?
this is
Almost over,
it's got to be more
almost,
than a year and a half. It's more than
yeah,
a year and
almost
a half.
2 years now, Barry.
Yeah.
And
That's incredible. Good job.
yeah, we
That's a
we
lot
just
of
started it.
dedication and commitment.
Yeah, and we're working on what there are it's almost our 80th episode. 79 or 80 episodes now. Every Friday I'm here, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
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 So yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
And
Is
we're
good.
this
finding
airing
it to
live?
be valuable. Yeah.
This live also?
No, no, I just
Okay.
do it through Zoom. I thought about doing it live, but I would rather just do it like this and
Yeah.
record so we can be more relaxed and just do our
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's again, to take off on something that Barry said before, there's a saying that I've heard many, many times, but I started to actually adopt it maybe in July of last year. And the statement was or is, you are uh, you're a result of the five people you hang out with. And
Amen.
up until last July, I was with a whole group of people because it's a great company that I'm part of, but I wasn't doing everything I should have been doing, and I had too many distractions. And that's all on me. 100% it's on me.
Yeah.
But in July, I had a conversation with one of my business partners who's is an amazing, amazing person. And we talked about a whole bunch of things. And she said to me, okay, I want you to do this, this, and this. And ever since that meeting that we had, I changed who I hang out with. Not that I'm discounting anybody else because I still hang out, but I spend a lot more time with a select group of five who are absolutely more experienced than me, smarter than me, and all those things. And I'm not saying that to be a wise guy or putting myself down. It's a fact. And the only way you can learn is by hanging out with people better than you, more experienced than you, smarter than you. And that's what I did. And over the last, what is now 8 months, my business has taken off because I've changed this. I've changed
Yeah.
the mindset of who I'm hanging out with. So what you said is absolutely right. Find those people who have the experience because there are a lot of great people out there, no question. But
Yeah.
who has the experience in that particular thing you're looking for? And build
Yeah.
that relationship. And then take this person, build that relationship, and make those five people, give or take five people, who will help pull you up to the next level because they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
I used
still
to
a
be
lot
part
of
of a
really good
mastermind
people out
group.
there.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
used to
Yeah,
be
it's
part of a
almost like a
mastermind group.
mastermind.
Yeah, I
I
used to be part of one, and we had including me, about 6 or 7 people, and it was so valuable. I really
mhm,
miss it. I wish I could find
Yeah.
another one. Most of
mm,
Was
the
it like
time,
a Vistage, Chuck, or EO maybe?
so it wasn't. It was just a.
Mm.
We all met through different various channels, and then one guy said that he's doing this, and next thing you know, he knew these people, and we all just got
Yeah.
together. So it kind of just like happened out of nowhere, you know. It was so valuable, so powerful, and I wish I could get back to that kind of setting. I'm not a big fan of these networking groups where you got to pay to go to them, and then you got to pull in other
mm,
people, and you got to pull your weight. I want a group to be focused on people like us. We're talking, we're having conversation, we're helping each other,
right.
and who cares who's making $35 a month off of it, right? That's
Yeah.
what I like. I think, yes, we can't give away the farm, but we can give away knowledge to help people around us grow, right? And
Mhm.
that's what I like,
Yeah.
you know?
Same.
And that's the
Yeah.
people to find. There are a
Yeah.
lot of people out there, and I know I do because there was a small group of people when I had all kinds of challenges in my business and personal life financially. There was a challenge. There was a group right around 2020 that I came in contact with, and this is Chuck's point, and they helped me at no cost to write my financial life and even to a certain extent my personal life because I was just on the hamster wheel just running.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I now use that experience that I had, plus what I was given by these other people. I now go out and pay it forward. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that I talk to that I help that I do not charge because I get a lot of pleasure in helping other people doing my piece of helping them become successful.
Yeah.
And it's a great
Love it.
feeling. It's a great
Yeah.
feeling. And I do it all the
Yeah.
time.
Love it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I wrote down when you were just talking, Steve, and thanks for sharing that. That's really valuable stuff. But I wrote down noise, and I read an article about talking about Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Steve Jobs when he was still living, how they were experts at cutting out the noise.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the AI and the automation,
Oh, yeah.
everybody's selling this and developing this, and everything's changing. But eventually, you just have to cut the noise out. And if you're really connected with those people around you, then you can share the resources working best. So
Correct.
you can just stay focused on that and cut the rest of the noise out so you can do what you're doing and build your teams and build your business. But Steve Jobs was an expert at cutting out the noise, and
Mm.
they what I read was that he could cut out like 80% of the noise and
Wow.
be very focused
Wow.
on what he was doing. And the next 18 hours, I'm going to do these three things. And he wouldn't let anything get in the way of that.
Mm.
And then I read further and it said Elon Musk, he is even better. He'd cut out like
Mm.
99% of the noise, hyper focused on what he's doing. And that's how
Yeah.
he can do these 5 minute
Mm.
employee like check-ins that he'll do. And he'll come sleep in the factory and he'll do it 18 hours straight.
Mm.
And he'll do 5 minutes with every employee and get so much valuable information about his business.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's great. Great stuff.
It's amazing, isn't it? I tell you, that's like I said before, that's why Steve and I, when I first started this podcast, and that's how Steve and I met. He interviewed on my podcast, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
Yeah.
Steve and I just connected.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
I got a small circle, and I'm really thankful and appreciative of Steve because we bounce ideas off each other all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll send stuff to him to critique. And,
Mm.
he's been a big help, and I would love to get back to this podcast being a team like that, where we get people who keep coming back on the show and keep sharing and keep mentoring and keep helping each other, because
Yeah.
I might not have a lot to say to you. You're a seven businesses in, and I'm still creating my second, well, third, if you count my app, but I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm trying, and that's what I love is like, I love to see people like you who
Mm.
have gone way past where I am and would love to hear what got you there and how we can get there. We get there together. You can share those
Yeah.
nuggets with us, Steve and I, and the people who are listening. It's
Yeah.
so valuable, and
Yeah.
that's why I like to share people come on and share their story with us, because somebody can catch that, right?
Mm.
Hear what you're saying, and then, man, I'm gonna reach out to Barry because I love that he's got all these automated businesses, and that's what I want to do. Barry, how do I reach out and run with it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so tell our
absolutely.
audience real quick how to reach you. How do we contact you?
Yeah, I'd love to be connected on LinkedIn. I'm still under my that magic number, so you can find Barry Bradham at LinkedIn or follow Barry Bradham Entrepreneur on Instagram. We're really sharing some good knowledge there. And then you can go to comewinwithme.com and you'll get some free tools of what I do, learn more about it, connect with me personally in my community. And yeah, I look forward to it. I love talking to business owners. I could do this all the time. That's
Yeah,
like my addiction. People say, well, what are your addictions? That's my addiction. I love it so
yeah,
much. It's more like a hobby, like you guys. So have me
yeah.
back anytime. This Friday at 4 thing. I love it. Rock on, man.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you. I
this is great.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Appreciate you being here.
anytime you look, you don't have to wait for an invitation, Brad, Barry. Just come on,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I just
Awesome.
I just talked to Bill earlier about it. And I said, look, Bill, come back on. He's like, I can't this time, but I will.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we love
Awesome.
it.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
Yeah,
come hang out.
Yeah.
Pour
yeah,
pot somewhere.
absolutely.
Oh, sorry, Steve. I did it again.
That's all right. I do not have copyright patent, whatever. I don't
You
have
should
it.
get it. It's
So,
awesome.
well, somebody had it long before me. So, if anything, I'm stealing somebody else's. So,
I don't
okay.
know, Steve. I think we coined that because I don't think anybody's saying
Yeah.
it's 4 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. We
Yeah.
because it's a 4 o'clock podcast. I think it's ours, man. We're saying it. We
So
own it, man.
yeah,
We own
Yeah,
it.
we own it.
put
So
a T on
anyway,
there.
look,
Everybody will think you do.
That's it.
exactly
True.
right. Hey, we started this podcast. Now we own it. So anybody that copies it, man, we're good.
That's
We're
right.
good. We're good. Stay away. We're good.
Right. So to reach Steve, 516-727-2294. Reach out if you got any questions.
Yeah. And Chuck, because your phone number's written over. It's 41093. Oh, there it is on the bottom. I'm doing well. That's why I wear glasses. 410-935-6132.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right.
Yeah.
So in the last
Right on.
closing 4 minutes here, what do you guys got real fast?
Steve, I'll follow your
So,
lead.
okay. Well, you don't have to.
We put it all on Steve this
My,
time.
my thing is don't stay comfortable.
Mm.
Get uncomfortable so you can grow. Will it be uncomfortable? Absolutely. But I'm not saying go from the shallow end of a pool and jumping in the deep end. Take the step down to the next step and the next step, and then slowly go to the deep end. But do something because you never know what your potential is going to be.
Mhm.
And remember, you don't have to fly alone. There are people out there who are willing to help you at no cost. Find one of them and
Yeah.
try some different things. The first, second, third, fourth may not work, but keep going. If
Yeah.
you get knocked down, get back up.
Yeah.
Barry?
Yeah. Again, Steve, great stuff. I'm glad we're connected. I focus a lot on community because that's what resonated so well with me. That's what I needed. Through COVID, I was, by myself. I got COVID and I was quarantined for
Ooh,
6 weeks and I had
wow.
102 fever. I couldn't shake. And you're sitting there reading the articles of other 40-year-olds dying, and I was 45 or 6 or something.
Mm,
And it's I can get through anything, any pain, any whatever, as long as I
mm,
know I'm not going to die. But if you
right.
think you might die, that adds a whole different stress to that
Mhm.
struggle. And then
Yeah.
you got fever and you can't get comfortable, and I couldn't eat. And it was just really, it was a dark time, the 6 weeks, and you have to do it alone, right?
Yeah.
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 So I came out of that. I bought a boat. I bought a Tahoe. I got rid of my nice car. I moved to the
Mm,
harbor in Huntington Beach. I boated all the time and I lived my life and I
Yeah.
did my work, and I really went on this journey of trying to find myself and what I love doing. And
mm,
that's really what led me here. And the speaking, I'm a bad public speaker. I've never been good on stage.
mm,
But then I was playing golf one time. I golf a lot. And I realized, well, somebody once told me, how do you expect yourself to hit golf shots that are great more than 60, 70% of the time? You don't hit 800 golf balls a day like
mm.
Tiger Woods or somebody like that. So that made me think, well, I don't get on stage and practice. So maybe if I
Mhm.
just practice, I'll get
Yeah.
better. And
Right.
so I
Yeah.
went on this journey, and that's the two things I wanted to do. I wanted to build communities for business owners and founders and entrepreneurs to help
Yeah.
them wherever they're at, meet them there. And I wanted to get better at public speaking because that's how I can reach them and really share better
Yeah.
what my mistakes were and what my challenges were, and hopefully, help somebody through something that they're about to go through, or, dealing with something they're going through right now.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but I want to give, because we only have like a minute left. So I want to
Okay.
give Chuck a quick second to wrap up and say his
Sorry.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was getting there. It's okay. We got that less than a minute, but my thing is, don't be afraid to talk to me. People are so scared of seeing my information on their business. It scares them to death because they think I'm coming in and finding everything wrong when it's not the case. So don't be afraid of us, man. All three of us here, we got good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so in closing, I thank you guys for coming on, man. It's been a great podcast. Come on next week again, Barry, so we can have more time to talk. Steve?
Awesome.
Because it's 4 o'clock somewhere. Sorry, Barry.
It is
Guys,
4 o'clock somewhere.
yeah, man.
Barry,
Look, enjoy
looking
the
forward
rest of
to
the
seeing you
day,
again.
man. Yeah, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the rest of
Yes.
the day, and let's all keep in touch. All right.
You got
Absolutely.
it.
Sounds
Thanks.
good.
See you
See you
Have a
guys.
next
great
Yeah,
week.
week.
man.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
Take care,
Barry.
guys.
All right.
Thanks,
Take
Chuck.
care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.